I bring greetings from ILBS. Next, please. What does liver do? We all know it, but I just want to highlight two things. That liver controls your blood sugar, not pancreas. Also, liver is involved in clotting of your blood. Next, and go back. And most important, liver is your chartered accountant. It controls your energy balance. If you remember these three things, it will make things very easy that it is the cause, the monitor for your blood sugar, which is your basic signature. Next. What damages liver? Viruses, hepatitis B, C, A to E. The government of India has in 2018 already started the National Viral Hepatitis Control Program. Alcohol, we all know, and fat, which is a major cause today of liver damage. Yes. So a normal liver, as Dr. Pradeep rightly said, should have less than 5% of fat. But if someone is having excess calories or the genes are not good, and the liver has more than or equal to 10% fat, it is at large. You can see on the right hand side, the kidney and the liver, brother and sister. Liver is whiter compared to kidney, it has a lot of fat. Yes. Now this diagram is the key. It is not a complicated diagram, just trying to explain you some basics. On the left you see bottles, alcohol, or somebody has extra calories or fat. Now that goes to liver. A normal cell of liver is not white, it is pink. You see all white cells. So it is like the liver cell has now fat. So this liver cell is not light. When it is not light, next please, then you will see that there is a immunity of the body. Body says these cells are not normal. They will try and kill the fat containing cells. And inflammation starts called steato, fat induced hepatitis. Like you have virus hepatitis, here it is fat induced hepatitis. Next. Now, what does fat do? Fat in the liver reflects your high cholesterol. So if you have high cholesterol, you have fat in the liver. If you have high triglyceride, you have fat in the liver because liver is the energy chartered accountant. If it cannot handle it, it will go into blood. The fat in the liver has also caused thickening of your arteries, your blood pressure, your heart disease, your stroke. They all are related to excess calories. Now your inflammation has started everywhere, not only in the liver. Next, please. So now, how do you test inflammation? Your liver enzyme called SGPT or ALT. Now, if this is high, the whole body is inflamed, not only liver. And this leads to development of scarring because the fat cells will die, replaced by scar. And it will finally lead to cirrhosis or shrinkage of liver and may lead to liver cancer. So presence of fat and fatty liver disease due to liver is a major challenge. Just pure fat and inflammation and scarring and cirrhosis and its complications. Next please. Fatty liver is globally, and including India, is about 1 in 3 or 4, while diabetes is in 10%. So today most people believe that type 2 diabetes is a liver disease, and the reason is a fat cell has no insulin access. So pancreas makes more insulin, and over a period of time it gets exhausted. You develop diabetes. It is not so simple, but it is just to understand. Next. Now this is a very key slide from Korea where 1,42,000 health participants, insurance participants were followed for 10 years. from 1990 till 2000. If you see those who had the liver enzyme called ALP or SGPT less than 20, the red is all cause death and green is liver death. If it is less than 20, they are equal. But as the SGPT increases, all cause death 1.7 times or liver related deaths increase 9 times. So if you have a young boy of 25 years, your son, your neighbors who has an SGPT of close to, let us say, 40 or 50, you can see what will happen in 10 years' time. All-cause mortality means heart, lung, and other kidney increases. So this is the basis that most countries in the world have made SGPT upper limit as 19 for female and 30 for male. India still has 40. Next. So this is the limit that US is following, less than 30 and less than 90. And if you want to live 100 years, the best thing is to have your SGPT around 10. Next, low income. Now, this is a very important slide from the US. The Framingham Heart Study, which is a study of almost 60 years, one generation, second generation. Those children who had SGPT or ALT high in about 10 years to 20 years, 5 to 20 times develop diabetes. Therefore, we believe now you can prevent diabetes if you can remove and decrease SGPT. Next. So what I want to stress by this brief presentation that fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic, without drinking, is the core to all non-communicable diseases. Risk of development of diabetes or its complications, risk of cerebrovascular diseases, hypertension, atherosclerosis, heart diseases, kidney. I have not given you details of the polycystic ovary in young girls, sleep apnea, the running out of your bone, stress, all cancers, prostate, breast are about 1.5 to 2 times more in fatty liver. And of course, it leads to liver cirrhosis. And liver cancer is now the second common cause of cancer deaths in the world. Next. COVID is more severe than NAFLD. It is the biggest comorbidity. In fact, we are only giving strength to diabetes or to people with heart disease. But the global data is that those who have fatty liver have a poor outcome. Next, please. Here, this large study from China and Hong Kong says that in COVID, and we are struggling today in the worst scenario. Suppose somebody is above 60, his risk of death and progressive disease is 4.8 times than a younger person. But if somebody has NAFLD, his risk of more severe progressive COVID is about 6.4 times. It is this reason that I think today's webinar might help you pick up people faster, educate them to have less fat in the liver, and also to monitor these patients. And I urge that this should be included and be considered by DDHS as a comorbidity if patient has obesity and fatty liver disease or COVID. Next, please. Now, how do you suspect and whom to refer? Very briefly. Next, please. First is our attitude has to change. We say, oh, fatty liver, don't worry. The so what approach has to change, and we must say liver fat is an alarm. It's not something to be really bothered that way that tomorrow you will die, but it's an alarm. Next. We have to teach our barbers. So if somebody has gone for a haircut and you find a black line, I'm sure with the wide approach of our Minister of State and Minister of Health, if simply this message goes, you will save so many. A black line in presence of warts, you have metabolic syndrome and you may have fatty liver. Next. We have to teach our tailors Don't fit genes onto people. Fit people into genes. Your waist for a male is less than 90, female less than 80. Next. So now the question is, am I having a fatty liver? And this can be done at village level, and I must thank Dr. Swasti, Dr. Sudhir, and of course BGHS, who has helped us developing this program. Suppose you have a family, mother, father, or yourself suffering from obesity, diabetes, blood pressure, heart or kidney disease, liver disease, gallbladder is stone. It's not a disease of gallbladder, it's a liver disease, cancer, obesity, or you're snoring. Get yourself screened for fatty liver. Maintain your weight, height minus 100. Height is 170 centimeters, and you subtract from that 100, your weight should be 70. For a lady, 5% more. Height minus 105. You can get a simple ultrasound, blood for SGPT or ANT, lipids and sugar. If you do this, 9 out of 10, you will be clear. And this is the one I think you have included in your national programs. Next, please. These are new guidelines. Now they have changed the term from NAFLD to metabolic associated fatty liver. On the left, it is very simple now. All overweight, all obese should have a fatty liver screen. On the right is diabetes. All diabetics must have fatty liver screen. And that helps us to prevent many complications. Of course, now normal or lean weight should have high cholesterol and blood pressure and other things. So it is simple whom to screen. Next. I would summarize now. Need to detect NAFLD is undisputed globally. And India, thanks to our Honorable Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, India has now integrated it into NCD. And with Dr. Poonam being there, there is a global need. I want to stress on this World Liver Day. We have programs at India, yoga, eat right. I want to give you just two new messages just about 2 months ago. If the infant in the first year of life is given 2 times juice a day versus no juice or 1 juice, if you give 2 times a day, by the time he is 5 years, he will develop fatty liver at least 5 times more. So we need to start early. School education, if a child at 10 years is overweight or obese, his heart has worked as if he is 40 years old. With that in mind, when to eat, what to eat, and the 2 guidelines which I have shown released by the Ministry of Health are the beginning of a major change that India is taking. Next, please. India has today, the red means more than 30 or 30% of population has fatty liver. And this was announced by the Minister, Honorable Minister on February. Now we have to wait 10 years to see the effect of this integration. And if we can decrease the 170 million at least adults above 18 have fatty liver, can we make a difference and decrease all NCTs? So I would urge everyone to invest in liver health, dedicated liver health force, centers, World Bank and others, so that we can decrease the burden of fatty liver diabetes. Next. Why liver today in all this and pandemic of COVID? Liver means life. Liver in Latin meant ignis or fire of life. In Ayurveda, it is your Pitta dosha or Agni. Next. The Babylonians, Etruscans, they all feared that liver. This is the liver 2000 years before Christ. You look at it and you can give what is going to be the future. The future of our country, in my mind, maybe I'm too self-centered, is also, next please, that you love your liver and you can have a brighter future. Next please. Also, liver is the only organ which, like your hair, regenerates in just 4 weeks. You give half of your liver in 4 weeks, your liver is back. Therefore, urge to donate liver. Next, please. So, healthy liver, healthy India, and a happy World Liver Day. And thank you